What is up, everybody? Well, the jokes about the Eagles having no Super Bowl rings are officially gone. They're over. They're done with. As a Giants fan, I hate that they're gone, but as an NFL fan, you gotta respect this Eagles team. Emphasis on team for winning this game tonight. One of the most epic games in NFL history. That was an amazing football game. Now, if you like defense, you might be a little bit turned off by that game, but if you just like a fast-paced football game of two great teams going at it, what a game that was. All four quarters filled with different levels of excitement, drama, emotions. In the first quarter, you just had maybe some Super Bowl nerves, people missing kicks, people not holding snaps. Also, Tom Brady dropping a pass. The second quarter, the action really started picking up. That's when touchdowns started going on the board left and right. Coming out of the second half, Brady and Gronk were firing in all cylinders. Chris Hogan was making big catches, but the Eagles kept coming right back with Ertz, with Aguilar. Alshon Jeffrey, not so much after that big first quarter, but the rest of the guys were making plays. LeGarrette Blount and Jay Ajayi on the ground kept on finding lanes to run that ball. And Nick Foles, the man at the helm, the controller of the offense, the Super Bowl MVP. What a game, what a postseason run by Nick Foles and the Philadelphia Eagles. When no one believed them, there are Eagles fans. All Eagles fans will tell you they believed in this team, rightfully so. They watched the team all season. They knew this was a really well-built roster. The majority of NFL fans will tell you that, hey, you know, maybe you did believe in the Eagles. Maybe you thought the Eagles would do well, but not many people said, hey, Eagles are going to go win the Super Bowl. Not many people said the Eagles were going to. Once they got to the Super Bowl, you gave them a fair fight against Tom Brady and the Patriots. I thought once they got there that it was a fair fight. But until then, you know, it's kind of iffy about this team. I really didn't think they beat the Falcons in the divisional round. Once they did that, I was like, okay, Foles is for real. Eagles are for real. And that Super Bowl game, the big plays in those games, you know, they just all seem to slowly amount to themselves. The Eagles going for the two-point conversion in the second quarter felt like it would almost cost them. Then they go on that long drive as that fluky little interception happens right there. And that long drive in the fourth quarter that ended up being a Zach Ertz touchdown took a lot of time off the clock and gave their pass rushers some time to breathe, some time to rest, and really start firing at Brady. Because for the most part in that game, the defenses didn't get to rest too much. It was just back and forth, everybody going back on the field, and that was part of the reason that contributed to, you know, why the game was so high scoring. It's like if the Warriors go against the Cavs or something like that in the finals, in the NBA finals, they just keep firing at each other. That's what this game was like until the Eagles slowed down the pace. At some point, the Eagles were going back and forth with the Patriots. They always had control because they were always usually the ones with a chance of either take the lead or control the game as we go for a 4th down and 3 and get it for a touchdown right there. And when they had the ball down by 1, the first time they were down all game, that's when they slowed the game down. That's when they finally took Tom Brady's opportunities away from him. But even with that, Brady was still getting the ball down by 5 with a little over 2 minutes to go. Perfect position for the Patriots. Perfect position. Then Brandon Graham makes that play. Then they finally get that interior pressure. They finally get some rest for those poor guys. At one point, Brandon Graham was at the sidelines on the trainer's table. Then he comes in and makes the biggest play of the game. Long also got some pressure in there. You had Barnett making some noise. Cox making some noise towards the end of that game. And that's what the Eagles needed to win the game at some point. At some point, they just needed one of those guys to make a play because their secondary is good, but it's not great. It's not a great secondary where they can hang on against Tom Brady for 3+ seconds. No one's secondary is that great. So, you know, just finally those guys made a play. Speaking of making plays, how about Nelson Aguilar? Straight line speed down the sidelines. He's taking this one all the way for a big touchdown in our game. So, I mentioned before I'm a Giants fan, so I was kind of pulling for the Patriots to win the game there. Not too much, but I was, you know, leaning towards the Patriots. But at the same time, at some point as an NFL fan, it was just about appreciating how good of a game that was. How hype of a game that was between both teams. And how well coached the game was on both sides. Doug Peterson, Bill Belichick had those guys prepared, ready to play. Like I said, defenses really didn't show up, but there were some big plays made defensively at some point in those games. You talk about the Eagles getting some pressure towards the end of that game. The Patriots got a couple of huge third down stops that really started getting them the momentum until the Tom Brady fumble. Because you remember the 2 third down stops, Nelson Aguilar got stuffed, Torrey Smith actually did get stuffed on a third down, but then they went for the 4th down. So the Patriots were making plays, but the Eagles' aggressiveness really did win them this game. In a game when you are going against Tom Brady, high scoring like this, you got to take all the chances you can take. And the Eagles, nothing proved that more than, this is going to be a pretty fortunate drop pick right there. But yeah, nothing proved it more than the 4th down and 1. 4th down and goal at the 1-yard line. They go for it. A chance to extend the lead? No, they want a 2-possession lead before the end of halftime. 4th down and 1. I love the play call right there. I'm not talking about 20/20 hindsight. I'm talking about as the play was happening. I love the fact that the Eagles went for it right there. Because for one, the Eagles stayed true to themselves. That's who they've been all season long. That's who they've been both seasons under Doug Peterson. They've been an aggressive team on 4th down situations. They stuck with their guns. Now, the play call was pretty interesting. The play call itself was pretty interesting, but that's the thing. When you go into these Super Bowl games, you don't want to get away from who you are. And, you know, I felt like the Patriots in that first half were getting away from who they were a little bit. Now, sure, you know, the Tom Brady catching play should have worked, but they were running a lot of end arounds, a little bit too much in the screen game, a little bit too much to try to widen the field, showing a little bit too much respect to that Eagles front 7. They made adjustments in the second half. They started finding ways to get Gronkowski more involved in the middle of the field, started taking advantage of that mismatch he had against Corey Graham, and then, you know, Hogan continuing to eat in that game. Brady just surveying the field, doing his thing, getting a little bit more balance in that run game with Lewis and White. So they made the necessary adjustments. The first half, like I said, I felt like they were getting a little bit too cute. Meanwhile, the Eagles, for all 4 quarters, they just did what they had been doing all season long. Whether Carson Wentz is there, whether Jason Peters is there, whether Darren Sproles is there, whether Nick Foles is there, whoever it is, whether Jay Ajayi is there, all these guys that were coming in and out the lineups at a certain point in the season, they stuck with their guns, and they believed in their roster, they believed in their players, and that's what Doug Peterson said. Doug Peterson said in, that's a bad shank PAT there, by the way. But yeah, in Doug Peterson's post-game interview, he said that he was going to believe in Nick Foles to give his playmakers a chance to win the game. He was going to stay aggressive, and that's what you need at the end of the day. You need belief. It starts from the top. Belief from the owner, belief from the GM, stems down to the coach, stems down to the quarterback, stems down to the receivers and the running backs, and that's how you win a championship. So at the end of the day, you just got to tip your cap to this Eagles team. Even as the division rival Giants team, I tip my cap to this Eagles team. Phenomenal season to them. They deserve to win the championship. Congratulations to all the Eagles fans out there, because they're probably not watching this video right now. They're probably out celebrating in various different ways that only Philadelphia fans can celebrate. That's the only thing that sucks about the fact that the Eagles win. It's just, you got to deal with those damn Philly fans. You got to hear them, not just tonight, not just this week, but for years. Not just a month, but for years. You got to hear them talk about this one. But they deserved it at the end of the day. It's not just about the, hearing about the fans. When you're watching football, it's about the teams. And the Eagles really did deserve this one. As Gronkowski not able to make that catch in this game right here. We had a couple of big plays that really helped us, get through. This guy, for the most part, was just trying to spam gun bunch and all that stuff, which it's not really that fun to play against. You can win against it. It's just the games are so sweaty when you play these kind of guys. You gotta really lock in and try to win. It's not too much fun, but I mean, we're able to play some good defense and for the most part make all the right plays to get ourselves in position to win the game. Like I said, we had the Aguilar return, we had the big Ajayi run. Now here we are with a little over 2 minutes left here, trying to burn out his timeouts, trying to really put this game away on this drive. 3rd down and 5. Foles well protected, which was a theme in the Super Bowl. Both quarterbacks were well protected. Foles didn't face much pressure. You had Trey Flowers coming maybe once or twice, but otherwise, Foles was just there, ready to make plays. I mean, there's a couple of times where both quarterbacks were under pressure, but not enough to make them make a bad decision. And that's the difference. You can get pressure after like 3 or 4 seconds, but the quick pressure is what makes the bad decisions, what causes the bang plays, and that's what Brandon Graham got that one play at the end of the game that really just defined everything. It's just such a snap play where even if you force the fumble, speaking of forcing fumbles, that's actually a Patriots recovery on the fumble. But yeah, even if Brandon Graham forces the fumble, you still got to recover it, still got to bounce the right way. And in a game where both teams play so well, something so small like that can be the difference. Where the fumble lands right where Derek Barnett is. There's a couple of Patriots offensive linemen who could easily recover that, even Brady himself. But, you know, just a couple of 50-50 plays that you got to come through with at the end, like that, like Brady dropping the ball and Foles catching his touchdown instead, like Gostkowski making a couple too many mistakes, including on a field goal. Jake Elliott missed the PAT, but Gostkowski missed the field goal, and that's 3 huge points they left off the board. So, just 50-50 plays, but I mean, you can second guess yourself all night long, and I'm sure the Patriots will. But just as fans of the game, it was just a great game, man. That's all you can really ask for from a Super Bowl. So, yeah, that's basically what I got to say on the game as we go into this Madden game where Gronkowski gets a touchdown in tight coverage. PAT up and good. They choose not to go for the 2-point conversion yet. They're hoping to get a touchdown and then worry about that as the onside kick to pretty much decide the game is recovered by Alshon Jeffrey. And one more interesting tidbit of that game. No Malcolm Butler. No Malcolm Butler, period. They went with Eric Rowe instead. You know, when you think about how great of a mind Bill Belichick is, you wonder if you second guess yourself leaving Malcolm Butler on the bench. Sure, Malcolm Butler wasn't having a great season, but he wasn't playing like a bad cornerback either. So that decision might have come back to bite them defensively because they could have done something better defensively that game, right? So yeah, leave a like in the video if you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys' thoughts in the comments. And I'll catch you guys next time. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles on winning the 2018 Super Bowl one more time.